Hey guys, welcome to Tuesday. That means it's time for another edition of Thoughts on Things. And what I'm thinking about today is that we're not going back to normal. Now, normal means different things to different people. But for those of us who are leaders of businesses, companies, organizations, or teams, we need to recognize a couple of things. I'm just going to point out three that I'm thinking about today that if you're a leader, you should be thinking about as well. Here's the first one. Virtual meetings, presentations, and calls, they're not going away. They are a part of the new normal. That's something we need to take note of. This is not a passing fad. This is something that's going to stay with us. Virtual presentations, virtual trainings, even for our teams, are just more cost effective. So more people are adopting this. Of course, there will be some who will go back to a lot of the old ways. However, to stay agile and be flexible going forward, this is an area that you need to be doing more than just looking at it as a passing fad. It isn't. Virtual presentations, trainings, calls, meetings are now being expected by people. So you should be preparing for that. It's not a passing fad. It's not going anywhere. It's part of the new normal. Here's a second thing that you need to be aware of, and that is that remote working isn't going anywhere either. That's almost funny sounding. Remote working is here to stay in the sense that people are learning that we can still get our jobs done. We can still get our numbers met and reach our goals even in a remote working environment. And because people's mindsets are shifting and changing, the whole COVID-19 pandemic has kind of been the proof of concept that remote working, it works. So there will be many companies who will opt to reduce overhead of office leasing space and so forth in lieu of having to release employees due to the financial challenges of this season. It's just going to make good sense. The numbers are going to make sense. Not to mention, people are beginning to have expectations because their kids' educations are still affected. They may have to be home for them. Remote working is something that we as leaders of businesses, companies, organizations, and teams need to recognize is just part of our new normal. Here's a third thing that I would mention to you that I think is really important. As you begin to think about your budget, you need to understand there may be some new line items, and those line items need to include software and technology, equipment that allows you to do a good job with your virtual presence, your online presence, your virtual trainings, your virtual meetings, your calls. These are things you're going to want to invest in because the general public right now is very forgiving. We're all learning, but they are learning quickly. So if in a short period of time going forward, the general public is better at their virtual presence than your company, that's going to be a problem. Be sure that you include a line item in your budget to enhance your virtual presence going forward. The second thing is be sure there's a line item to help bring in the necessary technology software that will allow your workers to have the option of working remotely. We don't know when the next little turn comes and we're told we have to go home again. We should be prepared for that, and we want to be sure we have the technologies in place, the systems and the softwares that allow our people to work remotely, not only effectively, but safely as it relates to our data and our security. That's a big deal. Those are three big things. Virtual presentations and trainings, those aren't going anywhere. Remote working, that's here to stay. New line items in the budget. These are all things that you need to be thinking about as a leader of a business, organization, company, or team. Yep, we're not going back to normal. These things and others are part of the new normal. Disruptions are unavoidable, but they don't have to be unbearable. With the right coaching and training, they can even become profitable. Are you ready for the next disruption? We can help.